afternoon, Neeraj here. I am supposed to be here to discuss something about sales and distribution management. Perhaps in our last classes, we were discussing about designing and managing sales force. And in due course of discussion, we gone through two broad division of sales management as a whole. First part was belonging to say designing sales force, and second part was pertaining to managing sales force. In designing sales force, we were concerned about planning of the sales force, effective planning of the sales force. So designing part was concerned with planning. Definitely, before doing, we have to plan. So we planned for effective sales force. In that part, we covered three distinguished activities or group of activities. First sub-part in designing or planning of sales force was sales force objective, we discussed. Second part was sales force strategy, we covered. Third part, sales force structure, we covered. Now today we will cover rest two parts or subgroups or subset, what you can say. Fourth part and fifth part of sales force designing. Fourth part can be termed as sales force size, and fifth part would be sales force compensation. We will cover all these parts, then definitely we will move to sales force management or executions, again comprising many subparts. We will discuss later on, perhaps in our next class. So today we will concentrate on sales force size and sales force compensation. So let me write over here sales force size. Size does matter, definitely matter. As we all know, most expensive communication and promotion tool out of all other tools is sales, personal selling, we all know. So this is very important part from the company side, that as far as possible to manage sales team in the most effective and economic manner. Effective is important as it helps to achieve the pre-stated objective, whatever might be sales force objectives or the company objectives to achieve through the sales force. And economy is important as it helps the company to keep cost under control or in permissible limit. So this is important to determine the reasonable sales force size. Now we think, is there any rational approach or method to determine the sales force size? Yes, there is. One very popular method to determine the rational sales force size is workload approach. Let me write over here workload approach. This is scientific and objective method to decide and determine sales force size. Now, what is this method and what does it say? This method talks about overall sales load of the company. Overall sales load of the company can be mathematically calculated. This is scientific approach. So definitely this justifies the company approach of objectivity. Now, this say workload approach depends upon the concept of how many customers the company wants to reach. So the whole method depends upon this core concept that how many customers located in various locations a company wants to honor, wants to reach. And this can be calculated in 5 steps. Please listen carefully and try to understand these 5 steps one by one. So first step is that company should classify the particular type of customers to whom it wants to reach. Here, type of customers depend upon sales volume they generate for the company. So on the basis of sales potential of the customers can be divided into various types. As we all know, all customers are not same sales volume generator. Few customers are very potential from company point of view. They generate more sales volume than other customers. And companies should treat the customers on the basis of their sales generation efficiency. So obviously, first we have to divide the customers, all the customer base, on the basis of sales generation ability. Now, next step, second step, is to decide the call frequency to each customer belonging to the particular segment. Now here, call frequency connotes the meaning of number of calls required for a particular customer in the particular class. Once company decides total number of call frequency, then third step starts. Here we multiply first step with the second step. What was the first step? The number of customers in a class. Now this is multiplied by call frequency, and when we multiply, then in third step we get total number of calls required to reach the total number of customers belonging to various groups. Now fourth step starts. In fourth step, we have to assess efficiency of call making of an individual salesperson in a year. We are calculating, we are assessing all these things on the yearly basis. Then we can break down it on half yearly or quarterly or monthly or even fortnightly basis. Then in fourth step, we will get the average number of calls done by a sales personnel on a year basis. Then fifth step starts. Here we can calculate number of sales personnel required to call the total number of customers. And what we have to do for that? In fifth step, we have to divide third step by the fourth step. Third step, that was related with total sales load or sales calls divided by average number of calls by an individual salesperson. When we do, we will get total sales personnel number. For example, here I cite an example. Suppose I am the owner of the company XYZ. My company segregates total number of customers to reach on the basis of their sales volume generation or sales potential. Suppose we estimated two types of customer A and customer B. A customer generates more sales volume than B customers. So naturally, A type of customers require more visit from the salespeople. Suppose in a year, such type of customers require. So first, before doing next level activities, first we decide about number of customers. Suppose 1000 customers belong to A and 2000 customers belong to B. Fine. Then total number of sales calls required to an individual customer belonging to A. Suppose if this is 36 calls a year, and here suppose 12 calls a year. So total number of calls required for A type of customer, this multiplied by this is 36,000, this 24,000 calls a year. Fine. Then we add these two calls to arrive at overall number of calls, that is 60,000 calls required in a year. Now fourth step starts. Suppose we estimated that an average sales personnel is able to call 1000 numbers in a year. So 1000 calls to be executed by an average sales personnel, calls per year. Obviously, we are estimating on yearly basis. Then total number of calls divided by average number of calls by an individual sales people, we will do, that is 60,000 calls a year divided by 1000 calls made by or proposed to make by an individual sales people is equal to 60 sales personnel. So in that way, we can arrive logically the number of the sales people required by the company to achieve its objective or implement its sales force strategy. Now, we all know that sales department is very costly to manage, though it is very, very effective. Simultaneously, it is also costly affair. So a new trend is getting reflected in these years, particularly in 2 decades. And what is that new trend? All mighty companies or successful companies by personnel selling particularly are shrinking their sales force department, or they are mitigating, lessening their sales force size and replacing it with another, say, cost effective type of promotional tools. Here we will discuss a very interesting case study. This belongs to Australian Coca-Cola franchisee Amatil. What was practice in Amatil? That salespeople had to drive a long distance. They drove to long distance to cover a small milk bar or the corner stores There they met the owners, franchisee owners, and they recommended their product, or they talk about one new product, and these salespeople stayed only for a small while because they had to cover 30 stores in a day. So they covered a long distance. Now Amatil saw a good deal of wasted time and money on covering all these customers. These customers were small. So company thought that it was wasting its money and effort. Now what company did? These salespeople were deviated from these small stores to big clients, and these small stores were told to be consulted through telephone. So now telemarketing was happening there to talk about requirement or their stocks of these small milk bar, and thus small milk bars now they became financially feasible for the company. In this way, company was able to achieve its sales force objective, that was cost effective, and the sales force were able to concentrate on big notch clients. Thank you very much. In tomorrow class we will cover, or next class we will cover compensation part, and afterward we will move towards say management of sales force. Thank you for today.